You just realized your business needed to hire someone yesterday. How can you find amazing candidates fast? Easy. Just use Indeed. Stop struggling to get your job post seen on other job sites. With Indeed sponsored jobs, your post jumps to the top of the page for your relevant candidates, so you can reach the people you want faster. According to Indeed data, sponsored jobs posted directly on Indeed have 45% more applications than non-sponsored jobs. Don't wait any longer. Speed up your hiring right now with Indeed. And listeners of this show will get a $75 sponsored job credit to get your jobs more visibility at Indeed.com/kidsandfamily. Just go to Indeed.com/kidsandfamily right now and support our show by saying you heard about Indeed on this podcast. Terms and conditions apply. Hiring? Indeed is all you need.
Are you ready to learn the 3 secrets to launching a successful podcast? Hi, I'm Bill, a recent client of the Podcast Mogul. If you've been thinking about starting a podcast but aren't sure where to begin, he's got you covered. He is hosting a free webinar where he will share the 3 secrets that can help you launch, grow, and monetize your podcast without any fancy equipment or technical headaches. Click the link in the show notes to save your spot now and let him help get your podcast off the ground.
Welcome to Invest in Yourself, the Digital Entrepreneur Podcast. Join the Podcast Mogul Phil Better as he interviews successful entrepreneurs that make their living in the digital world. Now, let's join your host, Phil Better, and his special guest today on Invest in Yourself, the Digital Entrepreneur Podcast. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Invest in Yourself, the Digital Entrepreneur Podcast. I am, of course, your host with the most, Phil Better. And today I'm very happy to have a returning guest, Mr. John Paragon of the Paragon Method and all the craziness that he's doing. He went from crypto, now he's over into a new space. And I'm really excited to have him back on because the new project he's working on sounds amazing. And I've been getting a lot of questions about this thing. So, John, please just do a quick reintroduction of yourself and then we'll jump into your new project that you're working on.
Dude, I don't know where to start. Can I just say that intro was epic? Like, you've definitely leveled up there. I like it.
Thank you.
Well, I'm glad to be back. I actually really enjoyed the show, so I'm glad to be back. So thanks for having me. How do I do a summary of what's going on? It's been a little bit wild since I was last on the show.
Yeah,
in a nutshell, I ended up buying a marketing company.
Oh, yeah.
We specialized in some LinkedIn stuff. It was all some fancy automation things going on. I bought another marketing company, merged the two, allowed them to kind of merge the 2 different services into one, and then to bounce off as each other's customers, made a chunk of money, and then decided that's not what I want to be forever. I still don't know what I want to be when I grow up, but I sold that. And now I'm in the crazy ass world of NFTs. So I'm building a project very similar to what I built or started building in 2017 and sold in 2020, which was all focused around crypto trading, lots of automation, trading $200 million a day, 980 clients, sold it to a private hedge fund. Basically doing the same thing now with NFTs, but there's a lot of things going on behind the scenes, working with some very clever people. I'm struggling to comprehend what's going on in this space, but like you, I'm getting tons and tons of questions from everywhere, from family, from friends, from clients. It's a little bit of a mad world at the moment, these NFTs, and I think overall it's probably not the best language to use, but I think there's a lot of shit going on.
No, I agree.
It's pretty crap for the most part, but if done right, there's a beautiful opportunity to make money. And ultimately, I think that's what most of us are here for. And yes, there are some things like charities that I want to be able to buy NFTs for and help them do their thing. There are lots of things like that. But for the most part, let's be honest, we're here to make some money. And that's exactly what we're doing.
Yeah, I'm very excited because on one of my other shows, The Stock Dirty to Me, we also get those crypto questions, the NFT questions. And there's a lot of misinformation, a lot of people talking about different things, and not everybody understands the NFTs and what's the purpose of them and how it's going to be changing the world for both business people and artists. So I'm glad that we have someone I have you back on, because I know your wealth of knowledge in the crypto world is probably paying off a lot more in the NFTs. So let's just jump into it. I know the project's name is Nifty. Why don't you tell us a bit about it? What is Project Nifty in itself?
I'm not sure if you use the word nifty over where you are at the other side of the world. Do you ever use the word nifty?
It's used
With the meaning of something's cool or interesting or strange.
It's usually used more by the older generations, less by the young people, but I think it could be coming back with your project.
To be fair, it does sound like it's something my granddad would say. Maybe I'm just getting really old now.
Yeah, we're getting into that age range. We're aging into what our parents were when we were young, and the kids are looking at us. So.
Although my granddad would cry at the idea of what an NFT is now, I don't think he would even begin to try to wrap his head around what it is. It's all going a bit wild for us kids, right?
Yeah.
So in Nifty, so the project is called Project Nifty, and a Nifty is simply a hot pick that our professional traders, NFT day traders, have handpicked as a high potential investment opportunity, shall we say. Okay. Probably used a few too many words to describe that, but I think you got the general idea. So we refer to it as a Nifty rather than saying that entire spiel. So we have different rarities for our Nifties. So depending on how high the potential is, whether it's a small project or maybe it requires a larger investment. So we've actually gamified a lot of it. I was a big gamer back in the day. Now I just don't have the time for it. But we do have rare, epic, let's see if I can remember these: rare, epic, legendary, and then mythical Nifties. Now, we've not released a mythical one yet because we think it has to be truly something special to achieve that status. But we have shared many rare, epic, and legendary Nifties. And it's, like I said before, it's simply a specially selected mint opportunity, or it's pretty much it. It's a mint opportunity. That's something that's about to launch. Our guys have been keeping an eye on it. It looks like it's a great investment opportunity, and we share it within our community. There are lots of things going on, but the main premise is exactly that.
So you guys are looking at full ecosystem of NFTs and going, this project looks good, this one is going to be crap, don't worry about this one, put your money, buy a couple of these. So pretty much don't go with the Bored Apes, go with the Happy Apes or something like that. You're looking at all of those and making wise decisions to help your community grow.
Yeah, so pretty much I think my team probably look at a minimum of 100 NFTs each day, trying to find the best ones. The vast majority, obviously, we just rule out. And they might come back every single day and just say, we found one that looks reasonable. We'll keep an eye on it. So we don't say instantly, once it's shared, this is a great opportunity. What we say is we want to watch it while the mint process is going on. But this is certainly one to keep an eye on because of whoever's backing it, or whether we appreciate the art, or they've got a huge following. Maybe there's a lot of hype behind it. Whatever the reason, our professional day traders have decided it's a good opportunity and it's certainly worth keeping an eye on. And it allows our clients to not have to spend 60 hours per week doing their own research. We're going to find the best 10 or 15 for you each week, and then you can just keep an eye on those and see how they're doing. You can communicate with people in our groups. We get special invites to whitelist opportunities for upcoming NFTs. So there's lots of cool things going on, and obviously we're surrounded by people that are doing well in the same space. And yesterday, because of everything that we've got going on and because of the success, I managed to get myself a private invite to an inner circle of sorts. And I've still not wrapped my head around everything that's going on in there, but I am incredibly overwhelmed by the amount of stuff that's going on in there and the information these guys have access to. And the fact that I've got this invite allows me to share some of that with my people too is unbelievable. Getting invites to whitelists on that level, understanding upcoming. So there was a meeting with a project today that there was probably only 10 people in the world that knew about. It was a meeting that was going to go on behind the scenes of a collaboration between two NFT developers. And just knowing that allows us some insight into the possibility that there's going to be a lot of hype that builds up behind an NFT before it starts. So we can go ahead and buy a handful of those, get involved with those projects quite heavily before it all kicks off. I can't believe the amount of things that are going on. And there's so much money that's being thrown around. We're talking millions and millions on a daily basis with it just within that inner circle. Some of those guys trading with millions on a daily basis. It's absolutely bonkers.
That's insane.
I feel like such a small fish now. Once upon a time, I was the big fish, but now I've just found a pool full of even bigger fish. And I don't know. I feel so insignificant.
Well, that's I know we talked last time you were on the show, we're talking about how you have to go into a small pond, become the big fish, move into the bigger pond so that you can always keep growing and evolving and being smarter. That's something that you were heavily talking about on the last episode, the last time you were on. And it sounds like you've just upped your niche. You started small with the crypto world, and you went into the coaching, the marketing, and then you're like, well, I'm going to take all my knowledge. I'm going to jump into this big pond that I have NFT, which is pretty much right now like a swamp because there's garbage, but there's also great stuff going on for the artists as well as for businesses using NFTs. Are you targeting specific niches with these NFTs, or are you just you're looking at all NFTs across the board?
So we look at all NFTs for the most part. If we plan on flipping within 24 hours, some of them we hold longer term, and typically the ones we hold longer term happen to be the crypto gaming project. Simply because I think it's one of the only spaces that holds a lot of potential with the future. I'm not a fan of buying an NFT because it has a pixelated chicken on it. Like that pisses me off. I can't believe that's something that it just seems absurd. And I understand the idea of buying it because it's hyped up and it's likely to increase in value, but you need to be selling it within a day or two. They're usually such high risk. You need to be buying something that holds a tremendous amount of utility. And I being an old school gamer myself, I see the potential with it, and I see the direction the gaming industry is moving now. There are so many getting involved with NFTs. There's a lot of potential with it. So some of the NFTs I hold that are longer term. In fact, almost all of them are focused around gaming in some way. And I do genuinely believe that's one of the better areas to focus on. So we do look at every area with regards to making a profit, but for something that you want to believe in and you can get behind long term, for me personally is gaming, and I think that's the one that makes sense for the most people.
No, that does make sense because the gaming community is it is the new wave of stuff coming, and being able to have this non-fungible token that you can use, which is an NFT, to either accelerate your gaming experience or just being like, I own a part of this game. Other than just owning the game itself, you own a part of it and you can feel connected to it. So that I fully endorse that. I really love that. Like, I love looking at individual artists that are doing NFTs and selling their projects. It reminds me back of the Renaissance days when you had, like Michelangelo, Donatello, and all these greats creating works of art for our one-offs, whereas the NFT, and they were making millions of dollars after that. So yeah, no, I love that. Now, you mentioned your community and different groups in that. What is it about what is the offer that you have that's different than other NFT groups?
I think we remove a lot of the time requirement for anyone who's seriously looking to invest into NFTs. So if I rewind back to when I created Paragon Crypto Hubs, when I started back in 2017, the whole idea of that came from the idea that I wanted to trade cryptocurrencies, but I didn't have 10 years to learn. I didn't have the capital to be able to afford to lose while I was learning. And I knew the biggest shortcut was to find out who already knew how to do this and pay them for access to their mind, for their information, for their trade ideas, whatever trades they ever make, share them with me, and I'll pay them for that information. It costs them nothing to do it apart from a 30-second process after they've placed their own trades. That's kind of where we started, and that kind of grew from there. And that's what I want to do, or that's what we are doing with Project Nifty. So each of the people that work for us, that share their own nifty ideas, they're doing this every single day anyway. They are highly experienced. They are incredibly successful. Some of the results these guys have achieved is ridiculous. If I look at Mike Barrow, for example, so he showed me his wallet. He has 4K USD that he spent on NFTs. He sold 2K, which are probably ones that have lost a lot of value, and he's gone and sold them. So he sold 2K back. So he's only 2K out of his own pocket in. And his wallet, I think about 2 weeks ago, was worth 330K USD. So he spent 2K out of his own pocket, and he's got NFTs worth 330K. I wouldn't be surprised if it's over 400K now. It probably will be by now. He's doing incredibly well, and he's providing the nifties for us. I've not seen any other groups that do it as well as we do. So some of them will share ideas on projects they want to keep an eye on. But we have so many hours invested into this very specific solution. It's a very specific service for a very specific kind of person. And because it's just one service that we provide, we do it incredibly well. And I think that's what differentiates us between everybody else. We're not providing lots and lots of different services in one place, because I always feel like the value is diluted then. Mm-hmm. Like, how many plates can you spin? How much can you actually provide for your client and do it well when you have so many different projects on the go? But we are focused on one very specific area, and ultimately is to put money in your pocket.
Who doesn't want that? And obviously you have a great track record with the Paragon crypto, and then the Paragon method and all that stuff that came after it. So obviously you do have a track record of success with this, and you know exactly how to find the people to work. Why would someone need your service? Like you did mention, you take away the time necessary to search all this, but there has to be more than just like time saving to this. Like, what is it specific about yours? Like, if I wanted to sign up, why should I sign up with you guys and not some other service?
Well, the honest answer is not everybody would. So you maybe already have a solution that works for you. Maybe you are making consistent profits. Maybe you already understand NFTs on a very deep level. Maybe you already have the connections that can give you an insight into what's happening in the NFT space or some upcoming projects. Maybe you already have access to be whitelisted for some very promising projects. Maybe you already have all of this, so you probably wouldn't need me. And if you do have access to all of that, let me know, because I would like to hire you. That would be brilliant. And then you can share that info with all of my clients too. But so, yeah, I think honest answer is not everybody will, because they already have cracked the code, shall we say. But for those people that haven't, either they're already dabbling with NFTs and they're not quite getting the results they want, then they possibly need us to refine their options somewhat. So instead of you looking at 200 NFTs per day, sat there with your spreadsheets, lots of Google researching, checking Twitter and Discord and checking the hype and everything like that, whatever your process is, we do the vast majority. Let's say we do 95% of the legwork for you. You just have to do the 5% then, and just get good at doing that last 5%. So we've done most of the work for you. But again, if you're happy doing the full 100%, then you carry on doing what you're doing. If it works, I'm happy for you. But there's also people that have almost zero experience with NFTs. Now, if you have completely zero and you're not sure what an NFT is, yes, by all means, come and join us and get an idea for it, but I wouldn't start throwing money at it yet. Completely transparent. Don't start throwing money at things yet, because chances are the odds are not in your favor. And the whole NFT industry has been built in a way where the odds are stacked against you. Mm-hmm. So I don't want you to come in now and start throwing money at it. So you need at least a basic idea of how it all works, and you can do that. You can do that through us. You can join the community and see what's going on, and you'll get the idea over time. But we don't provide specific training on that as well. But if it is some place you want to step into, of all the places I've seen, I'm going to comfortably say Project Nifty is the most safe space for you, I think.
So you're
definitely
you're not only providing the service of, hey, we're going to take most of the legwork, finding all these NFTs that are going to be dropping soon. We're going to give you our rating on if it's a rare, legendary, all the way to epic, and that this is what our ratings are. If they don't fall into this ratings, they don't even get. So you're already you're taking the cream of the cream from the top, but also you're showing them like, hey, this is what you should be looking at by people who join who have no ideas about NFTs. Here are some things like, why is this a rare? This is why, because you're showing it in real time and with all the other NFTs that you're showing. So it's also a learning opportunity before, even though you're not hand holding them through. If someone has a basic understanding on how to analyze stuff, they'll be able to catch on quite quickly then.
Yep, absolutely. And for those people who have some serious experience and they have decent portfolios, we're talking, let's say, 250K plus. So one of the things I pride myself on, my skill has been networking throughout the last 7 years of my entrepreneur journey. It's not the information I hold. It's not my willpower, my drive to succeed or to earn money. It's my ability to recognize who are the valuable people in my network. So if you already have the ability to make an income with NFTs, or you are holding a decent portfolio, I also have the contacts that I can connect you with to take you to the next level. So, for example, the I can't remember what I called it, the inner circle that I joined recently. It's actually called the inner circle too. Happy to connect you with the people that run that. I can't guarantee you'll get a spot, but I'm happy to make the connection.
Yeah, and
so have access to
just
those
having
people's
access. Yeah, That's worth the price of admission alone, knowing that you have that access to these people who have knowledge far surpassing your own. And like you said, you're a small fish with these bigger fishes, but you're learning how to grow into one of those big fishes. So like, that access is, that's priceless right there.
Absolutely.
Now, if someone is going to join this Project Nifty and become part of the community, what are kind of the results that people can expect, like your members can expect from joining Project Nifty?
So we make it clear not to set major expectations. We don't do guarantees. I don't do guarantees on anything. The only things that are guaranteed in life is death and taxes, right? I think that's a commonly said one.
Yeah.
So you have to understand there are no guarantees. We lose some. A lot of the Nifties we share will not have the results we hope for. This happens, but overall the odds are now stacked in your favor rather than against you. That's the ultimate goal, and that's what we've achieved. I can give examples of what people have achieved. I mean, if I look at, see if I can remember the numbers. So I was checking one of our documents we use for tracking purposes. And in the last, I think it was 21 days, we've shared 17 Nifties. 13 of them have made a profit, and the other 4 we are holding at this point. Now, they have dropped in value, but these are long-term holds. I think all 4 of them, if maybe 3 of them, are focused on the gaming industry. Mm-hmm. So these are ones we expected to hold longer term anyway, and we expect 10 times returns on these at some point. We might find in 2 months' time that we might have got only 3 times returns on it. That's okay. We'll monitor it over time, and we keep everybody within the group updated on this too. But I think we've got 10 or 11, no, 14 of them out of 17, something like that were wins. And the handful that are not wins are just not wins yet. Well over tripled profits within the last 3 weeks. Just on these NFTs alone, assuming you only bought one of them each time, because you have the option to buy 2 or 3 or 4 or 5, depending on what it is. I give the example of Mike Barrow as one of our guys who has 4K invested. He's sold 2K of it, so he's only 2K of his own pocket money in there. And he's well over 300K, probably over 400K now. We've got Jason, who is heavily invested in the crypto gaming space. All he does is plays crypto video games. And there are a lot of games now where you are breeding. They have an RPG element, kind of like Pokemon, some of them. Mm-hmm. So there's a very popular one called Axie Infinity. Although it seems to have dropped in momentum at this point, he's heavily invested into that. And this is a guy I've known for many, many years who's earned, I'm going to go with well over 10 million over the probably 7 years that I've known him in various industries. And he says in the last 6 months, and he's a very transparent, honest person, in the last 6 months, he has over 10x'd his value, his financial assets have over 10x'd in the last 6 months. Now, I assume the vast majority of that is still in NFTs, but I know for sure he's taken a lot of it out. He's cashed it out into fiat, or he holds some other forms of crypto, but he's 10x more than it has been since prior to the 6 months. He won't give exact numbers because it attracts a lot of attention. Mm-hmm. But it's an absolute... I cannot comprehend how he's doing so well, but he spends all day breaking the gaming down. So he's got a very strategic process. We're talking doing the maths behind it. He's got spreadsheets open. He's hired in teams, mathematical geniuses to calculate lots of different things. He's taking it incredibly serious. He's treating it like a business rather than a video game, but he does appreciate his video games too, which is why he's so heavily invested. So there are lots of different ways to go with it, especially if you are interested in gaming. To merge crypto and gaming and making profits all in one package, absolutely beautiful.
That's insane. That just being able to do that is insane. I do want to ask about some of the companies that are dropping NFTs now. You know, we have the NBA dropping, the NHL. Yeah. You know, Gary V's dropping his NFTs that have a heavy utility access. They're not just an image, but they have access to him and his companies. Are you looking at those NFTs as well, or are you looking at other projects that don't necessarily have those big names behind them or big companies behind them?
So I know in the inner circle, they tend to look at projects that have the bigger names behind, because those are the ones you have a higher chance of getting 10x returns, potentially more than that as well. For the most part, no. Simply because it's hard to predict what the outcome is going to be. And because they are so mainstream, there are a lot more people involved. So you want there to be a lot of people getting involved. You want there to be a lot of hype, but you kind of want projects that are a little bit more niche. So the people who are involved absolutely go crazy for it. They absolutely love the project they're involved with. When it comes to NBA, or let's look at the Spider-Man one, for example. Everybody loves Spider-Man, so everybody went and bought the Spider-Man NFTs, and it didn't really do very well from a profit point of view. So they're good
for the individual, for the company, it made
for the company
profit.
they made a good chunk of money, but the big thing for them was advertising and getting into the NFT world early on before everybody else does, which is what's happening. So it was a good move for them for marketing purposes. But for us guys that want to make a profit from buying NFTs, it wasn't really a project that we could flip easily. NBA and things like that. And Gary V's, it's not something you would buy to be able to flip it. I think he's offering masterminds and things with access. So anybody who owns one of his NFTs, I think you get access to his masterminds and some other cool things as well. It's almost like an investment. A lot of people are using it as like a membership tool of sorts. And we consider that too. We consider launching an NFT that would allow you membership access to our community. And we do have plans to launch an NFT, but it will be something that's quite a bit different. I want to give people access to own a percentage of the company, and I won't give details about what the company is, but you will own a percentage of the profit. So the bigger we grow, the more money you make, which creates a lot of utility behind an NFT. So we have lots of plans further down the line. This is still very, very early for us, but
I'm going to be definitely staying tuned to that, because that's going to be, if anything, from our last conversation, I know how well versed you are in this and how you love making money and you like making people money. So I'm definitely going to be staying tuned to that. Now, if my audience would like to know, like, how do we find you and your project? Like, where can we find Project Nifty if we want to join the community and start looking at increasing or leveling up our knowledge in the NFT space?
Fortunately for me, there are not too many John Paragons around in the world, so I am relatively easy to find on LinkedIn or Facebook. My LinkedIn page hasn't been shifted to crypto yet. It was still focused on when I was running the marketing projects. But the easiest place to find me, if you want to look on Facebook or have a look at projectnifty.io, and I'll send you a link as well if that's all right for you, Phil.
Perfectly fine.
Yeah, I'll send you a link. But if people want to have a look at projectnifty.io, probably the easiest way to come find us. But if you want to reach out to me on Facebook too, that's perfectly fine. Happy to have a conversation. We can jump on a call and I'll give you an idea of what we've got going on too.
Yeah, no, I know for people who are listening, I have had the opportunity to have many great chats with John about some of the projects he's working on and what I've been working on and sharing that. And John is a delight to just talk with one-on-one, and the knowledge you have is amazing. But what are some of the goals going? Like, we know you have the potential to drop an NFT to have ownership in the potential company that you're creating. Is there any other things that you see coming forward from this Project Nifty?
There are lots of things that I want to do, but at the moment they seem like very, very big projects that make it very tricky to deliver. So one of my big dreams, and I don't know if I shared this when we were last on the show, but one of my big goals is to eventually open a school of some kind that teaches entrepreneurship. So something that kids, maybe between the ages of 8 and 16, I'm not sure on the ages yet, like a private tutorship, but we will teach them 3 different business areas. And then by the end of their first year, they will have found one that they want to focus on, and we'll focus on that for the second year. And we want it to be able to fund whatever it costs for them for the tutoring. That's one of my bigger goals. But that's going to take a lot of money and the right contacts to have the right network to be able to put this together. That's one of my bigger goals further down the line. But I'll share a little bit about what we plan to do with my NFT when it eventually launches. We're a little bit off yet, and I don't think I've shared this in too many places. So consider yourself
we got
blessed.
An exclusive here. I like that.
So what I would like to do, the team that have agreed to develop my NFT idea, we will then partner with them going forward, and we will help other people launch their own NFTs. We charge a fee, which is an outright flat cost, which covers the hourly wage for our developers to help you develop your NFT idea. And we also charge a percentage of the mint. So once it goes to mint and you raise, let's say, $3 million, or because some of these raise crazy amounts of money, will charge, depending on what the project is, anywhere between 10 and 25% is pretty standard. Whatever that percentage is, 100% of that will go back to my NFT holders. So let's say we have 1,000 NFT holders and we charge 20% of whatever you mint. You raise $3 million, so you raise 600K goes to us. We'll give that 600K to my 1,000 NFT holders. That means my company and me make zero profit. However, because I know which projects, when we are signing new projects, how well they are going to do, I also have the ability to buy my own NFTs. So personally, I will make money because I know we're about to sign a new contract. We're about to make a good chunk of money. I can go and snap up a few NFTs. So there is a benefit for me in the long run, but we do want to give 100% of it back to the NFT holders. So you will basically own a share of an NFT development company. So the value of your NFT should always hold its value. And the more money we make, the value of that NFT will increase. We do benefit. So my company will benefit in other ways. So there is a tax every time an NFT is sold. And typically that's anywhere between 5% and 15%. So if you were to sell an NFT to me, there will be a tax that happens with that as well. I think we were planning on setting ours at 4.5%. And that goes back to the company for marketing purposes, for more development purposes and things like that. So there will be a small amount trickling back into the company. But I want to keep it as close to 100% as possible. That goes back to my NFT holders. And the value of those NFTs should skyrocket over time, especially as we grow.
Oh,
Don't tell anybody I said that, though. That's a secret. I've not shared that in too many places. Even my family don't know. That's
so I'm going to have to edit that whole thing out, making my job a little more.
Yeah, you promised to edit that out now.
Yes, I'll edit it out. Now people are going to be wondering what secrets are going to be said in this show. John, I can't thank you enough for coming on and talking about Project Nifty, giving us an update of what's going on and sharing some secrets and behind the scenes speaking of this. Anything else you want to share with my audience before we wrap up here?
I think I've covered everything. Before I give away too many secrets, I can't give them all away.
No, you have to go to projectnifty.io to get all of them.
Exactly. That's what you've got to do. But yes, I am very, very excited about everything that's going on in this space. I'm terrified at some of it because I think some of it's outright disgusting. Really, seriously, never buy a chicken. Never buy a pixelated chicken for 5K. Just don't do it. And I'm sick of looking at apes. Every NFT that's being launched is a freaking ape. I'm sick of it.
Oh, I fully agree with you. Oh,
every NFT should have some major utility, and if it doesn't, stay away. But I'm to be honest, I'm very excited about the inner circle that I've got access to today. So I actually got access yesterday, and I couldn't sleep for a little while, and I kept browsing through some of the things going on. And all day today, I took my daughter horse riding earlier. Normally, I walk with her. But I stayed in the car and she went off on her own. So she's very upset. But I'm like, I need to be browsing and see what's going on here. My mind is blown and I don't know where to start. It's insane.
If you're excited about it, I should be over the moon, like wanting access to this because this is insane. And I know how much.
I feel like one of Warren Buffett's inside traders. So I know exactly what he's investing in before he actually invests. So I can go and do it myself.
Oh
I feel like I work for Elon Musk behind the scenes and I know exactly when he's launching a new product. I know exactly when he's going to post on Twitter about bloody Dogecoin or whatever it's going to be. So I know things that are going to happen before they happen. And it's insane. I feel like I've got cheat codes enabled, if that makes sense. I feel like
it sounds like you do have those cheat codes.
It feels illegal. That's what's happening. It feels illegal to have access to information like this. And I feel like someone's going to break down my door at any point and put me in handcuffs. Because I shouldn't have access to this information. It's crazy stuff.
I'm hoping that no one breaks down your door.
Me too.
If they do, please give us a call so we can get live on air.
Okay, I will do that.
No, hoping that you do not get arrested because this is just as amazing. And obviously, there's inner circles for everything, but having an inner circle into NFTs that are still such a new world for us, and it's only going to increase as the years go by because it's the next generation is going to be dealing with this, and you can become the next Warren Buffett. You could be the Warren Buffett of NFTs and crypto in the future. Who knows?
If anybody has a connection with Warren Buffett, please let me know. I would like to. I've got a few proposals for him.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, and you're going to obviously share that with me because I want to talk with Warren Buffett. But ladies and gentlemen, John Paragon. The links to everything will be in the show notes down below. And if you're interested in putting your foot into the NFTs, I would highly suggest getting access to Project Nifty, because what John has done in the crypto world and what he's done in marketing and all that is always 10xing and making your life way better. So make sure you take the time to invest in that. John, I want to thank you again for being an amazing guest, coming on and sharing Project Nifty with us and some of the little behind the scenes things that are going on with your project.
I appreciate that, Phil. Much appreciated. And thanks for having me again.
Oh, it's a pleasure. Ladies and gentlemen, that is, of course, Invest in Yourself, the Digital Entrepreneur Podcast. Remember to invest in yourself with the knowledge that you get here. And I want to wish you all an amazing day.
Thanks for tuning in. Now it's time to take the next step. When you're ready to dive deeper into how to launch, grow, and monetize your podcast, Phil's got something special for you. Join him for a free webinar where he'll reveal the 3 secrets that have helped countless entrepreneurs succeed in podcasting. Click the link in the show notes to save your spot, and let's turn your podcasting dreams into reality.
You just realized your business needed to hire someone yesterday. How can you find amazing candidates fast? Easy. Just use Indeed. Stop struggling to get your job post seen on other job sites. With Indeed sponsored jobs, your post jumps to the top of the page for your relevant candidates, so you can reach the people you want faster. According to Indeed data, sponsored jobs posted directly on Indeed have 45% more applications than non-sponsored jobs. Don't wait any longer. Speed up your hiring right now with Indeed. And listeners of this show will get a $75 sponsored job credit to get your jobs more visibility at Indeed.com/kidsandfamily. Just go to Indeed.com/kidsandfamily right now and support our show by saying you heard about Indeed on this podcast. Terms and conditions apply. Hiring? Indeed is all you need.